In a world that never stops shouting, there is a corner of the internet that has fallen in love with silence. No clickbait, no dubstep, just the rhythmic sound of a master at work. Meet Alan, the man teaching 350,000 people that the most powerful tool in the workshop isn't a lathe, it's patience. Honestly, calling Alan Millyard a hobbyist is like calling a Michelin-starred chef a decent cook. The man is a classically trained mechanical engineer from Berkshire who spent years in the high-stakes world of nuclear engineering. Basically, he's a literal rocket scientist who traded reactors for retro bikes. His real superpower, though, is his brain. He has this uncanny ability to 3D visualize an entire project without touching a piece of CAD software or drawing up a single blueprint. He just sees the finished engine in his mind and then uses manual lathes, milling machines, and an ungodly amount of hand-filing to manifest it into reality. His creations are nothing short of legendary, starting with the Millyard Viper V10, where he somehow wedged an 8-liter Dodge Viper engine into a motorcycle frame. Unlike Dodge's own Tomahawk concept, which was basically a rolling sculpture, Alan's bike is fully road legal and has actually hit over 200 miles per hour. Then there's the Flying Millyard, a 5-liter V-twin monster built from 2 massive cylinders scavenged from a Pratt and Whitney radial airplane engine. It looks like a steampunk dream and sounds exactly like a low-flying Spitfire. He first really made his mark with his Kawasaki Multis, where he'd add cylinders to 1,970 seconds two-strokes, turning triples into 4, 5, or even screaming V12 beasts that look so clean you'd swear they rolled off the factory floor that way. In a digital landscape often defined by frantic cuts, neon-bright thumbnails, and a desperate race for the first 5 seconds of your attention, Alan is a deliberate, methodical outlier. While he first planted his flag on YouTube back in 2009, it is only in these recent years that the world seems to have finally caught up to his tempo. As our collective attention spans began to fray, viewers started pivoting back toward the authentic, finding a strange, meditative sanctuary in the slow-build content that Alan has perfected. He doesn't just build engines, he provides a masterclass in engineering patience. The numbers behind the silence. Alan's growth isn't a fluke of the algorithm, it's a testament to the power of the niche. Today, he commands a loyal audience of roughly 350,000 subscribers. A community built not on hacks, but on high-level craftsmanship. His videos have collectively garnered over 55 million views. Instead of chasing trends, he creates long-form experiences. His videos typically run between 20 and 40 minutes, inviting the viewer to sit down, exhale, and watch a project evolve from a block of metal into a mechanical heart. The Bob Ross of engineering. The moniker is well-earned. Much like the late painter, Alan operates with a calm, methodical energy that borders on the therapeutic. Large portions of his videos are silent, save for the rhythmic, satisfying sounds of metal being cut or the precise click of a wrench. When he does speak, it isn't to shout for engagement, it is to offer a methodical explanation of a complex problem, delivered with the steady confidence of a man who has spent decades at a workbench. There are no happy little trees here, but there are certainly happy little tolerances. The current Odyssey, the Norton Nemesis V8, at the heart of his current workshop life is the Norton Nemesis V8 restoration. It is a project that perfectly encapsulates his standing in the engineering world, taking something legendary, complex, and perhaps a bit temperamental, and bringing it back to life with surgical precision. Watching Alan isn't just about the motorcycles, it's about the dignity of the work. He proves that you don't need a loud voice to be heard on the internet, you just need a sharp tool, a clear mind, and the willingness to take as much time as the metal requires. Net worth and earnings. The story of Alan is the ultimate proof that you don't have to sell out to make it. In an era of loud influencers and manufactured drama, he has managed to turn a quiet, ordinary man persona into a blueprint for professional success. He isn't just a mechanic. He's a retired nuclear engineer who transitioned from the precision of power plants to the artistry of the workshop, and the result is a masterclass in building a brand based on substance over style. Before we go any further, If you've been wondering why Alan Millyard has gone quiet on YouTube lately, don't worry, he hasn't retired. The truth is, he's just incredibly busy with major offline commitments. He is currently spending a lot of time filming television shows like the Motorbike Show and Shed and Buried alongside Henry Cole, which naturally eats up the time he used to spend editing vlogs. On top of that, his massive Norton Nemesis V8 restoration project has been a huge undertaking that he's been showcasing at live events, like the National Motorcycle Museum Live, rather than just in the shed. So, the good news is that Alan is still very much active in building crazy engines. He's just swapping his webcam for a TV crew a lot more often these days. The ecosystem of a master craftsman. While most people look at a YouTuber and see a single source of income, Alan's financial world is a multifaceted ecosystem. His YouTube AdSense is the modest baseline, earning an estimated $400 to $1,200 per month. While that might seem small for a channel of his caliber, it's the quality of the views that matters. His audience isn't just scrolling, they are gearheads, an older, affluent demographic that makes his channel a goldmine for targeted, high-value engagement. However, the screen is only one part of the story. Alan has become a beloved fixture on mainstream television, appearing regularly on the Motorbike Show and Find It, Fix It, Flog It alongside Henry Cole. These media appearances provide more than just a steady professional income. They cement his status as an authority in the mechanical world. Rolling fine art. The true weight of Alan's success, however, isn't found in a bank statement. It's parked in his garage. His creations are widely regarded as rolling fine art. A Millyard original isn't just a motorcycle. It's a bespoke masterpiece of engineering. Take, for instance, the legendary Viper V10. In the custom world, a bike like that is considered essentially priceless. While he rarely sells his work, preferring to build for himself or his sons, any collector would tell you that a Millyard-built machine is easily a six-figure asset. A grounded legacy. When you look at the tabloid estimates of an $8 million net worth, they often miss the mark by focusing on cash flow. A more grounded view of a man with his background, a career in nuclear engineering, and a collection of world-class machinery puts him in the $1 million to $3 million range. But for Alan, wealth isn't about the numbers on a balance sheet. It's about the fact that he has built a life where his hobby, his career, and his legacy are all the same thing. He is a man who turned doing it right into a professional standard, proving that if you build something incredible enough, the world will eventually beat a path to your workshop door. In the world of professional racing, speed is usually a product of multi-million-dollar wind tunnels, carbon fiber everything, and a small army of technicians in matching polo shirts. But for Alan, the path to a Guinness World Record looked a little different. It started in a quiet single-car garage in Berkshire, with a hacksaw, a filing kit, and an 8-liter engine, originally intended for a Dodge Viper sports car. 183.5 miles per hour, a pillion like no other. In May 2023, Alan and his longtime friend and collaborator, Henry Cole, headed to the Elvington airfield with a singular, somewhat terrifying goal: to become the fastest tandem pair on a motorcycle. The machine was the Viper V10, a bike Alan built himself that weighs nearly 1,400 lbs. To give context to the physics of that run, Alan described the sensation of riding with a passenger at those speeds as having a top box filled with cement on the back of the bike. On their final attempt of the day, they didn't just break the record, they shattered a decade-long streak held by an American team. They hit a certified 183.5 miles per hour, proving that Alan's home-built engineering wasn't just good for a hobbyist, it was world-class. For Henry, sitting on the back of a 500-horsepower beast, with no fairing to shield him from the wind, it was an ultimate act of trust in the man at the handlebars. Alan remains the gold standard for what has come to be known as shed engineering. His work serves as a quiet, powerful rebuttal to the modern obsession with high-end CNC factories and massive corporate backing. He has effectively proven that you don't need a multi-million-dollar facility to change the world of motorcycling. You just need a sharp hacksaw and a vision so clear it borders on the architectural. The architecture of a mechanical mind. His approach is defined first by a preference for vision over volume. Alan doesn't build for mass production or market trends. He builds for the sheer, intoxicating challenge of the mechanical puzzle. Every bike is a question he is answering for himself, a process where the why is always more important than the how many. This philosophy extends into his technical execution, where precision consistently takes precedence over polishing. While his finished motorcycles look like they rolled off a factory line, they are actually born from basic manual tools and a deep, almost intuitive understanding of how metal behaves under pressure. He doesn't rely on software to tell him if a part will fit. He feels it through the file and the blade. Perhaps his most daunting principle is the choice of patience over pace. In an industry that demands rapid-fire releases, Alan is willing to spend years on a single project, as seen in his legendary restoration of the Norton Nemesis V8. He is a man who will wait as long as necessary for every clearance to be perfect and every bolt to be seated exactly right. The most important tool in any workshop isn't the most expensive one. It's the clarity of the vision behind it. Whether he's meticulously restoring a rare temperamental V8 or screaming down a runway at nearly 200 miles per hour, Alan remains the quintessential ordinary man. He is a living reminder to the engineering world that the human element, the steady hand and the focused mind, is still the most powerful force in creation. He taught us that with a simple hacksaw and enough patience, the impossible isn't just achievable, it's inevitable. At the end of the day, Alan remains the ultimate shed engineer, a man who transitioned from the high-stakes world of nuclear plants to the humble precision of his own garage. He didn't change the world by being the loudest person in the room. He did it by being the most meticulous. He stands as a living rebuttal to the idea that greatness requires a corporate budget. He's just a man with a hacksaw, a cup of tea, and a mechanical puzzle to solve. And in that simplicity, he's managed to build something truly priceless, a life lived at his own pace. I'm going to leave a link to his channel in the description, as you are missing out on a lot if you haven't seen him yet. Thanks for watching.